just continue to be effective as the command started to wane a little bit there at points?
Yeah, it was like I said before, trying to make pitches when I needed to. That's what I was able to do tonight. I got to tip my hat to Trent. That homer, I felt like that was a good pitch, and he just got to it. So, after that, and then I ended up walking him. But, in spots with runners in scoring position, the main focus was one pitch at a time and make the pitch I needed to make.
Those two moments that stand out were in the third inning and then the fifth inning where you had two runners on and were able to get three big strikeouts. Just, was it something specific in those at-bats that you were able to, come through with?
Yeah, it was just trying to slow everything down, like I said, and, really execute. Try not to leave anything over the middle and throw it where I needed to throw it. And, I was fortunate enough that I was able to do that in those situations.
Over there right now, Andy?
On that Machado strikeout, I was just wondering why you decided to go all sliders in that at-bat.
That's a good question. What did I do? That was what, the third at-bat?
Yeah, you'd struck him out with a fastball in the previous at-bat.
Yeah, that was mainly trying to read his swing, and then I had a good feel for the slider right then. So I was like, you know what, I'm going with this, and hopefully I can get him to chase off, and, I was able to.
In that inning, did you like your secondary stuff more than your fastball? It seemed like.
Yeah, that inning I did. I think that's the inning I gave up the hit down the line to Profar, though, on the slider. Yeah, that's the one that I wish I would have went fastball. But, felt like I had a good feel for it. I just threw too many in a row to him, and he kept one fair. So, and then with Machado, there's more room for error. You don't have to worry about hitting him when it's going that way. So, felt like I had a good feel for it.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go Joe, far left.
Two things if possible. Are you in a position right now where you're trying to figure out start to start more than ever what you have for the game?
Yeah, my changeup wasn't great. I threw probably the best one I threw was to Bell, and he got a single off of it. So then it was, kind of fastball slider for most of the night. I only threw, one curveball, I believe. But it was just sticking with those two pitches. Once I felt like I figured out where my slider was going, didn't want to get beat on, a third or fourth best pitch.
And the other one is before, during, or when you were done with your start, did you have any moment where you thought, if this doesn't go right, this could be my last start here with the Mets?
I guess that went into my mind, but the hope was we'd win a baseball game and continue to keep playing. So, like I said yesterday, the goal was to put us in a position to win or give us a chance and pass it on to Bassett. So our guys did a good job of coming out and putting together good at-bats and getting Blake out of there early and then putting up some runs late. So, go try to win a baseball game tomorrow.
Down here on the right.
At what point did that cross your mind?
I don't know exactly.
Pre-game or?
10:45. Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue, honestly.
And then in the fifth inning, you mentioned slowing down, making sure you're even more that you execute. In a job where you have to be always focused 100% of the time, what is it like in those moments when you have to focus somehow even more?
Yeah, I was trying to make a little bit of a mechanical adjustment in this start. I felt like in Atlanta and Oakland I was leaning a little bit and not balanced how I wanted to be, so I was trying to get that out of my head and be like, hey, you have to throw this pitch where you need to. Try to eliminate every other thought and execute in the moment. And like I said, I was fortunate enough that I was able to do that.
Stay right here on the right.
Was there any discussion in between the fifth and sixth about you going back out? I know there was a meeting on the mound in the fifth, and what did you feel like going back out for the sixth, which seemed that you just sort of cruised through that one?
Yeah, they asked how I was doing. I said, I'm good to go. Let's keep going. And I actually felt like I had my best stuff in the sixth inning. Slider was good. Fastball, I felt like I finally actually to Drury, threw one down in a way where I wanted. It was kind of. They were all early on. They were just a little bit off, and then not quite the height I wanted them. So I felt like I made an adjustment there, and like I said, the sixth inning I actually felt the best.
Second row on the left.
You mentioned your other elimination game start against LA yesterday. Did this feel at all like that in some of the bigger moments for you?
Yeah, definitely. Especially throwing here. Win or go home. And like I said, love pitching here. And, Mets fans have been great to me. Didn't want to disappoint, so wanted to go out there and give us a chance. And, we were able to win a game.
Jacob, thank you.
Thank you.
Did Mike quit? He quit. He did not have a good day. Length of game and 7 o'clock now tomorrow, right? Good. I'm glad he's not happy.
Okay, what do we got for Buck, Steve?
Buck, when you guys have been at your best as an offense, you've been really working deep counts and making life pretty difficult on the pitchers. What did you see out of the at-bats across the board tonight that was different than certain games recently where that approach hasn't seemed to be the same?
Well, it's tough on a night like tonight where you know how much it means to move to tomorrow, and it's so easy to get out of it. It takes a lot of discipline because you want to score runs and you want to give Jake something to work with, and it's just not in a competitive person or athlete to, sometimes less is more, and that's hard to do, and that showed a lot of discipline tonight. Of course, the pitcher has to be throwing some balls too. I think we had 9 walks and a hit by pitch, so we're proud of everybody, the discipline it takes to, when you want something, your tendency is to go get it physically instead of trying to stay with that. It's a real tribute to the players.
Is that a message that you got across before the game, given the stakes of tonight's game, that you may have a natural tendency to get out of what you're doing and you have to fight it a little more?
No, all season long, I've had a lot of faith and trust. Since very early on in the spring, I knew that Shabby and Jeremy were going to be able to take that on, and the players have bought in, and they have a meeting before every game. Some of them are short, some of them are longer, and I know what's being said, and I know a lot of those things are led by the players, so it means a lot more when it comes from them. But what does it mean for tomorrow? If you had the command that Darvish had, sure, it was a tough night to grip the baseball. It was tough, cold, real cold, almost caught my different parts of me on fire tonight. I did go down and get in front of that heater a couple times.
Go far left, Joel.
Was your intention, if it stayed tight, to go to the finish line with Diaz?
No, not in the 30s. But those 2 innings they were in the batting order. We had trouble with Grisham, and probably not. Yeah, I wasn't planning on pitching the 3rd inning with him. Now, if he, there's a lot of things that might change that. If he has 2 8-pitch innings, I would think about it. He was up the runway in the cage. He threw a little bit because it was such a long inning.
The other thing is, do you feel you are close to having a full Jacob deGrom right now, or is this just a version of who he usually is?
That's a good question. I haven't had him before this year, so what he's doing is really hard to do, and not many people in baseball can do it, especially so. Whatever version it is, I'm okay with. So I can't. It's good. Those guys are on top of the game, trying to, take the second game and go home, and Jake just wouldn't allow it. So we got our work cut out for us tomorrow, and all hands on deck.
Andy, first row.
Was it the way that deGrom finished the 5th that convinced you to send him out for another inning? Would you have done that? I mean, not regardless, but did you feel like he caught some momentum the way he finished that allowed you to push him
A
forward?
little bit. You know, we talked to Jake in between. I talked to him after the 6, you know, but, you know, when every pitch is such high intensity, you know, the first pitch of the game is high leverage, as everybody calls it, you know, in games like this. So, but there's also a little extra adrenaline reservoir to pick from, I think, in games like this. So, you know, you go for it, you know, it is. And you Jake, all our guys are guys that it's easy to put your head on the pillow because they get it.
With Diaz, I assume you expect to have him tomorrow.
We'll see. Yeah, who knows what tomorrow might bring. We might have the same thing we had with Joely. We'll see. I don't expect it. Same way with Otto.
Here, Dave?
So back with Diaz, he threw 19 pitches, I guess, in the first inning, and then he was for 40,
18.
18 for the 45. He would.
You know what? You may be right because I saw 18 and maybe it flashed 19. You're probably right and I'm wrong.
But he and he was underneath for like 45 minutes after that. And you said he threw in the back,
No, we put a mound in the cage.
right?
May have already been there. No, it was spring we put it in the cage.
That's not something that happens a lot with a closer.
Well, a lot of times you don't have half an hour with cold weather, but he was good. He was really after me and let him finish the 8th. We're trying to save some bullets there, and we like the auto matchup. But big out there with Lugo, come in, face a tie and run, and that kind of weather against a lethal hitter. That's a big out. That's not easy to do. We're lucky to have Seth there.
Third row there on the left?
I was really, the big play was deGrom's backing up third base early in the game. And then I think also the block of the pitch, second, third, it was a big momentum swing. And when you do, and Canna stand right beside him, when something like that happens, other teams, I actually think it's almost a momentum swing. When you do something right fundamentally and, you reward it. There's not many pitchers are there and two make that play. What an athletic play off there. We're lucky it didn't go in there.
Third row there on the left?
Look, I know that if you don't win tonight, you don't get to tomorrow. But when you put that 4 spot up, is in the back of your mind maybe say, you know what, we've got a 5-run lead now, maybe shut down Diaz and save him for tomorrow?
It crossed my mind if they, the whole idea when we brought him in was Grissom had been hurting us, and I was going to take him through a certain part that set up better for the rest of the bullpen. He's going to have to pitch somewhere. It depends on where they fall in the order. It crossed my mind, but at 7-2 and Manny leading off, we'll think about tomorrow. We need to get this one on our belt.
We got one more back here. Clap. Way on the right.
Buck, could you just walk us through on your decision to use Diaz in the 7th inning?
That's why I just talked. What else? What was my decision to?
You're thinking just,
I was going to say, they had Grissom, I'll say it again, they had Grissom there, and who'd been hurting us in the top of their order, which had been hurting us, and, I'm going to take my best pitcher and face their order, hope that they don't come up again, and I think it was pretty obvious by what went on the 9th inning and why we did it that way.
Thanks, Buck.
Okay, thank you.
Pete's back there. Let's put another chair up there. Yeah. Alonso and Lindor right now. Alonso and Lindor together. It's Pete. It's okay. We'll see. As a reminder, wait for the microphones. First question for Pete. Can we go down here in the middle? There we go. Frankie and Pete.
For both of you.
Seemed like it was a total team effort, and a lot of people stepped up when it mattered most. Just summarize this big victory and a must-win.
You want me to go first? Yeah. I mean, we had contributions from everyone up and down the lineup, and then I mean, Jake. I mean, he set the tone right from the start, and then he poured his heart out there for us, and then obviously Sugar coming in. Basically shutting the door, Otto coming in, getting some huge outs for us, and then Seth making the last out. I thought that our pitchers threw the ball extremely well today, and our offense, I mean, every single one of us had excellent at-bats, and I mean, we were really, really good tonight. We executed our plan, and I thought that we didn't waste any swings. We capitalized on stuff in the zone, and we took our walks when opportunities weren't there in the zone. So I thought we did a great job discipline-wise.
Yeah, overall it was great. It was a very Mets-like play game. So everybody played very well, very good, and we stayed within ourselves.
Tomorrow's also a must-win. You as an athlete, do you try to have selective amnesia or use this as momentum going into Game 3?
I mean, honestly, like every game is different. Every pitch is different. So, I mean, we'll see where we're at tomorrow, and we just got to see how they're attacking us. But for us, it's if we can stay within ourselves, execute, and like we did tonight, up and down the order, and have our pitchers do a really good job. I feel like we have a really good chance tomorrow. Again, it's all about execution and big moments and capitalizing.
Yeah, we learn from today, turn the page, come back tomorrow, and focus on what we have in front of our feet. Every day is a little different. It might be the same opponent, but every day is a little different. We just got to turn the page, celebrate tonight, turn the page, and focus on tomorrow. Buck. Yeah, Buck left. She loves Buck.
Get him over here on the right, Eddie.
Hi, Pete. Was that the most important home run of your career to this point?
I think so, yeah. I mean, being able to come up clutch in a spot like that to get the lead, I mean, that was awesome. And hopefully I can hit a few more like that tomorrow and moving forward. So I'm just really happy I was able to help the team.
Down here, Dave.
Francisco, you touched on this earlier. Did this game kind of feel like more like you were back to yourselves a little bit? Just because, you know, we talked to you a lot about the Atlanta series where you guys didn't really feel like you kind of clicked, and Friday night was a tough game, obviously. Did this feel more like, with the at-bats, with Jake gutting through his part of the game, did it feel like more like what you guys do to win games tonight?
Definitely. I mean, we've been trying to play like ourselves. It's just you know, it's baseball. We have good days, we have bad days. We try to eliminate as many bad days as possible and try to have more good days. Like I said earlier today, we play very Mets-like. You know, we put the ball in play, we run the bases right, we play good defense, we pitch, we stay together, and we win together.
Back there on the left.
Over here, Pete, Francisco, you know, two things. One, when you have a season where you win 101 games, it had to have some things you're able to draw on in this moment to go back to win. I'm just wondering whether you think the kind of success you had this year allowed you to sort of draw on it in this moment in order to figure out, you know, what it is to win the way the Mets have won this year.
Well, to be honest, these past two games have been completely different than the regular season 162. I mean, everything is, I don't know, it's just different. And there's something about postseason baseball from what I've experienced where every tiny little mistake is capitalized upon, or any little slip up can be taken advantage of. And I feel like that now, like how the game unfolded yesterday, I mean, they took advantage of every little opportunity, and today we flipped the script. We took advantage of every tiny little opportunity, and in the regular season, like that may not happen that way because everyone's just so together, so locked in. So even though we've had some big games during the regular season, I mean, this is different. That's why we have to stay together, take it day by day, pitch by pitch.
Regular season, it's regular season. You learn a lot from it. You know, it's a long year. You learn a lot from it. It's a long year. You have ups and downs. You kind of learn a lot more from each other. But in the postseason, I don't want to say it's a different game, but there's less room for mistakes. You just got to go out there and capitalize on everything that's possible, and you get the best of the best. You know, you get. You knew Darvish could be his last start of the year. You knew Snell, it could be his last start of the year. You know, Scherzer could be his last start of the year. Same thing with Musgrove tomorrow and Bassett. It could be the last time they throw, or same thing, it could be our last at bat. So you get the best of the best, day in and day out. And that's why the games are so much better, because the focus goes to a different level, and nobody's complaining about how tired they are. Everybody's locked in, and the weather just, it makes you feel a little different.
And just a quick follow-up. Buck talked about a lot of the conversation coming in tonight being player-driven. If you could, tell us who was leading those conversations. What was that conversation like that got you guys prepared for tonight?
I don't think anyone was kind of spearheading it. I think it was just organic with pretty much everybody, because everyone wants to put their best foot forward, especially tonight, facing elimination for us. So everyone, it's just a lot of just good ball talk amongst the fellas, because everyone wants to exchange good information that could be used during the game to help us win.
Straight back there.
Hey guys, with the games being so different, like you mentioned, is there anything from a Mets-like win like tonight that you can carry into tomorrow?
I guess just keeping the effort level the same, effort level and focus the same, because tonight, what we brought to the table, it was excellent. Not just from a defensive standpoint, base running, offensive, quality at bats, not just the hits. You look at the quality of pitches that guys were fouling off, that guys were borderline pitching, guys were taking. So working walks. This was a huge, complete win. When we say Mets baseball, it's just we did everything. We did the fundamentals extremely well. So that's going to be good momentum going into tomorrow.
Far back on the left, John.
Yeah, Pete, you had talked about how excited you were about the challenge coming into this series. Could you and Francisco talk about the emotions? I know it's not Game 7 technically, but it is winner take all. What are your emotions going into this game?
Well, today it was pretty similar type of feeling, because we are facing elimination, and we're doing the same tomorrow. So, like I said before, what we brought today collectively as a team was excellent. So, this is like I said yesterday. Like this is fun baseball. Like I'm just so excited to come to the field tomorrow. This is what it's for. We're going to come ready to go.
Yeah. We're going to go down here in the front.
Pete, you, McNeil, and Nimmo, all guys who were drafted and developed by the Mets, all guys who waited a while for your first postseason game, and all guys who had big RBIs tonight. Just how meaningful was it for you to get that moment and to watch some of the guys who you've kind of been in the trenches with for a while also get that moment?
It's really special for all of us individually and collectively. And this is why we play. For these moments. So. I'm just really happy that we were able to earn our spot in the postseason, because being able to get here is really difficult. But it's special tonight, but we have our work cut out for us tomorrow, and we just want to give our best effort.
We got one more here down in the front.
Hey guys, the game, back to the game itself, it seemed to be kind of like two different games. Pre-fifth inning, post-fifth inning. When you had Snell on the ropes early, and you were, as you talked about, you were working him, getting walks, but you weren't getting the big hit. Your first 3 runs, 2 of them were on home runs, 1 was yours. It seemed like the whole game changed when McNeil got the base hit. What was going on? Was there any frustration there that you weren't able to knocking some of those runs? Because it felt like a game that should have been 8-1 very early.
It's just baseball, you know. Snell is on the mound. He didn't execute early, but he was making pitches when it got tough for him, you know. And we had a lot of opportunities early. We didn't really capitalize on them, and then as soon as we capitalized, it felt like the ball kind of got going for us, you know, and it helped us. It helped our momentum, and that's just the game of baseball. It's the way it goes. You score one here, one there, all of a sudden they come in bunches, and the game is not easy at all, and we all trying to get that passing the baton so the next guy can do it, the next guy on, and you know, we put a couple base runners, and then we got that big blow.
And despite not having that big hit, I think after 3 innings, I mean, we did an excellent job. I mean, what was his pitch count through 3 innings? So like through 3 or 4 innings, I mean, we got his pitch count up. We're like that's what we do. Like if we don't come up with that big hit, we're gonna wear on you. So that's I mean, that's a testament to having really good at bats, and that's why you keep going, you keep pushing.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night. That concludes the interview room for this evening.
I got it.